Joshua chapter 18. After Israel had captured the land, they met at Shiloh and set up the sacred tent. There were still 7 tribes without any land, so Joshua told the people,
"The Judah tribe has already settled in its land in the south, and the Joseph tribes have settled in their land in the north. The tribes of Gad, Reuben, and East Manasseh already have the land that the Lord's servant Moses gave them east of the Jordan River. And the people of Levi won't get a single large region of the land like the other tribes. Instead, they will serve the Lord as priests. But the rest of you haven't done a thing to take over any land. The Lord God who was worshipped by your ancestors has given you the land, and now it's time to go ahead and settle there. 7 tribes still don't have any land. Each of these tribes should choose 3 men, and I'll send them to explore the remaining land. They will divide it into 7 regions, write a description of each region, and bring these descriptions back to me. I will find out from the Lord our God what region each tribe should get."
Just before the men left camp, Joshua repeated their orders.
"Explore the land and write a description of it. Then come back to Shiloh, and I will find out from the Lord how to divide the land."
The men left and went across the land, dividing it into 7 regions. They wrote down a description of each region, town by town, and returned to Joshua at the camp at Shiloh. Joshua found out from the Lord how to divide the land, and he told the tribes what the Lord had decided.
Benjamin was the first tribe chosen to receive land. The region for its clans lay between the Judah tribe on the south and the Joseph tribes on the north. Benjamin's northern border started at the Jordan River and went up the ridge north of Jericho, then on west into the hill country as far as the Bethaven desert. From there it went to Luz, which is now called Bethel. The border ran along the ridge south of Luz, then went to Ataroth Orek, and on as far as the mountains south of Lower Beth Horon. At that point it turned south and became the western border. It went as far south as Kiriath Baal, a town in Judah now called Kiriath Jearim. Benjamin's southern border started at the edge of Kiriath Jearim and went east to the ruins and on to Nephtoah Spring. From there it went to the bottom of the hill at the northern end of Rephaim Valley. The other side of this hill faces Hinnom Valley, which is on the land that slopes south from Jerusalem. The border went down through Hinnom Valley until it reached En-Rogel.
At En-Rogel, the border curved north and went to En-Shemesh and on east to Gilaloth, which is across the valley from Adummim Pass. Then it went down to the monument of Bohan, who belonged to the Reuben tribe. The border ran along the hillside north of Beth Araba, then down into the Jordan River Valley. Inside the valley it went south as far as the northern hillside of Beth Hogla. The last section of the border went from there to the northern end of the Dead Sea, at the mouth of the Jordan River. The Jordan River itself was Benjamin's eastern border. These were the borders of Benjamin's tribal land, where the clans of Benjamin lived. One region of Benjamin's tribal land had 12 towns with their surrounding villages. Those towns were Jericho, Beth Hogla, Emek Keziz, Beth Araba, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Terah, Ophrah, Kepher Ammoni, Ophni, and Geba. In the other region there were the following 14 towns with their surrounding villages: Gibeon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpah, Kephirah, Moza, Rechem, Irpeel, Tarala, Zelah, Haeleph, Gibeah, Kiriath Jearim, and Jerusalem, which is also called Jebusite town. These regions are the tribal lands of Benjamin. Joshua chapter 19. Simeon was the second tribe chosen to receive land, and the region for its clans was inside Judah's borders. In one region of Simeon's tribal land, there were the following 13 towns with their surrounding villages: Beersheba, Shema, Moladah, Hazer Shual, Bela, Ezem, El-Tolad, Bethuel, Hormah, Ziklag, Beth Markaboth, Hazer Susa, Beth Lebaoth, and Sheruhen. In another region, Simeon had the following 4 towns with their surrounding villages: Enrimmon, Taken, Ether, and Ashan. Simeon's land also included all the other towns and villages as far south as Baalath-beer, which is also called Ramah of the south. Simeon's tribal land was actually inside Judah's territory. Judah had received too much land for the number of people in its tribe, so part of Judah's land was given to Simeon. Zebulun was the 3rd tribe chosen to receive land. The southern border for its clans started in the west at the edge of the gorge near Jokneam. It went east to the edge of the land that belongs to the town of Dabbasheth, and continued on to Maralah and Sarid. It took in the land that belongs to Kisloth-Tabor, then ended at Daberath. The eastern border went up to Japhiah and continued north to Gath-Hepher, Ethkazin, and Ramona, where it curved toward Neah and became the northern border. Then it curved south around Anathon and went as far west as Iftahel Valley. Zebulun had 12 towns with their surrounding villages. Some of these were Kadesh, Nahalal, Shimron, Jerulah, and Bethlehem. This is the tribal land, and these are the towns and villages of the Zebulun clans. Issachar was the 4th tribe chosen to receive land. The northern border for its clans went from Mount Tabor east to the Jordan River. Their land included the following 16 towns with their surrounding villages: Jezreel, Kesoloth, Shunem, Hapharaim, Shion, Anaharath, Debirath, Kishion, Ebez, Remeth, En-Ganim, Enhada, Beth-Pazzaz, Tabor, Shehazuma, and Beth-Shemesh. Asher was the 5th tribe chosen to receive land, and the region for its clans included the following towns: Helkath, Halai, Beton, Akshaph, Alamelech, Amad, and Mishal. Asher's southern border ran from the Mediterranean Sea southeast along the Shihor-Libnath River at the foot of Mount Carmel, then east to Beth Dagon. On the southeast, Asher shared a border with Zebulun along the Iftahel Valley. On the eastern side, their border ran north to Beth-Emek, went east of Cabal, and then on to Naail, Abdon, Rehob, Hammon, Cana, and as far north as the city of Sidon. Then it turned west to become the northern border and went to Ramah and the fortress city of Tyre. Near Tyre, it turned toward Hosa and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. Asher had a total of 22 towns with their surrounding villages, including Mahalab, Akzib, Akko, Aphek, and Rehob. Naphtali was the 6th tribe chosen to receive land. The southern border for its clan started in the west, where the tribal lands of Asher and Zebulun meet near Hukkok. From that point it ran east and southeast along the border with Zebulun as far as Aznoth Tabor. From there, the border went east to Heleph, Adamai Nekeb, Jabneel, then to the town called Oak and Zaananim, and Lachem. The southern border ended at the Jordan River at the edge of the town named Jehudah. Naphtali shared a border with Asher on the west. The Naphtali clans received this region as their tribal land, and it included 19 towns with their surrounding villages. The following towns had walls around them: Ziddim, Zur, Hamath, Rakkath, Kinnereth, Adamah, Ramah, Hazor, Kedesh, Edrei, En-Hazer, Iron, Migdalel, Horem, Beth-Anath, and Beth-Shemesh. Dan was the 7th tribe chosen to receive land, and the region for its clans included the following towns: Zorah, Eshtaol, Ir-Shemesh, Sheal-Laban, Ajalon, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, Eltekah, Gibbethon, Baalath, Jehud, Azor, Beni-Berak, Gath-Rimmon, Mejarkon, and Rakkon. Dan's tribal land went almost as far as Joppa. Its clans received this land and these towns with their surrounding villages. Later, when enemies forced them to leave their tribal land, they went to the town of Leshem. They attacked the town, captured it, and killed the people who lived there. Then they settled there themselves and renamed the town Dan after their ancestor. The Israelites were still gathered in Shiloh in front of the sacred tent when Eleazar the priest, Joshua, and the family leaders of Israel finished giving out the land to the tribes. The Lord had told the people to give Joshua whatever town he wanted. So Joshua chose Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim, and the people gave it to him. Joshua went to Timnath-Serah, rebuilt it, and lived there. Joshua chapter 20. One day the Lord told Joshua,
"When Moses was still alive, I had him tell the Israelites about the safe towns. Now you tell them that it is time to set up these towns."
If a person accidentally kills someone and the victim's relatives say it was murder, they might try to take revenge. Anyone accused of murder can run to one of the safe towns and be safe from the victim's relatives. The one needing protection will stand at the entrance to the town gate and explain to the town leaders what happened. Then the leaders will bring that person in and provide a place to live in their town. One of the victim's relatives might come to the town looking for revenge, but the town leaders must not simply hand over the person accused of murder. After all, the accused and the victim had been neighbors, not enemies. The citizens of that safe town must come together and hold a trial. They may decide that the victim was killed accidentally and that the accused is not guilty of murder. Everyone found not guilty must still live in the safe town until the high priest dies. Then they can go back to their own towns and their homes that they had to leave behind.
The Israelites decided that the following 3 towns west of the Jordan River would be safe towns: Kedesh in Galilee in Naphtali's hill country, Shechem in Ephraim's hill country, and Kiriath Arba in Judah's hill country. Kiriath Arba is now called Hebron. The Israelites had already decided on the following 3 towns east of the Jordan River: Bezer in the desert flatlands of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead, which was a town that belonged to Gad, and Golan in Bashan, which belonged to Manasseh. These safe towns were set up so that if Israelites or even foreigners who lived in Israel accidentally killed someone, they could run to one of these towns. There they would be safe until a trial could be held, even if one of the victim's relatives came looking for revenge.